Now, what if we want to learn about using the OR? So if you take a random cell over here, hit the equal sign, then start to type in OR, open parentheses, then he's telling you logical 1, logical 2, logical 3, and so on. So you are putting a logical test over here. So OR, let's say A2 greater than 1, and or A3 less than 3. So he's telling you either A2 greater than 1 or A3 less than 3. That's basically what it's saying right now. It doesn't mean much, but when you combine OR with the if statement, that is where things make sense. So you have a column A over here, column B, then you have a results. Now you are trying to put a pass if the mark in A, like A2 and B2, are greater than a certain value, then I'll put a pass. Otherwise, I'll put a fail. So that's where it would make more sense. So now let's combine the OR with the if statement. So we can start with the if statement. Then inside the if statement, we type again OR. So now the logical test is depending on OR. So if A2 greater or equal 75 or B2 greater or equal 75, then type in pass. Otherwise, type in fail. So again, we are having if statement. So you have the logical test, and you have whatever you need to show if the value is true, and whatever need to show if the value is false. Now, what if I have more than one test that I want to include, like either or? So either A2 greater or equal 75 or B2 greater or equal 75. If any of these is true, then hit pass. Otherwise, if none of them is true, then you need to hit fail in the results. So we hit enter in this case. Of course, both of them are greater or equal 75, so he gave me a pass. So both of them are true, so he'll give me a pass. One of them is true, he'll give me a pass as well. Now we have A3 as a 50 and B3 as 75. What he would give me, as we learned, we can copy this equation and paste it here using this icon over here, which is the formula. So he pasted the formula from the top. So he gave me a pass because one of them is false, which is A3 is not greater or equal 75. It is false, but B3 is greater or equal 75. So he'll give me a pass because I said either or in the test. Let's copy the equation, moving forward all the way down. So copy the equation, paste it now. So we have a pass for the second one because one of them is true, greater or equal 75. This one is not. But when you have both of them are not true, then that's where you get the result as a fail. So if A5 greater or equal 75 and B5 greater or equal 75, so either or any of them is true, then hit a pass. Otherwise, hit a fail. In this case, both of them are failing in the test over here, so he will hit a fail for us in the results. As simple as that. Just keep in mind when you copy the equation from the first row and you paste it all the way down until the end of your column, the Excel is smart enough to change the cell number, as you can see. So he's moving. So we wrote this equation pointing on these cells, but when we copy and paste the equation to the next row, then it is adapting the new cell numbers that are related to that row. So you don't need to worry about that. It will be consistent and accurate regarding the pasting issue. But it's always a good practice to just check randomly on your data, depending how big or small it is. Make sure the equation is being pasted in the right way and there's no confusion anywhere. Now, regarding the AND function, let's type in and see what Excel would give us. Open a parentheses. He's telling you, same as OR, logical 1, logical 2, logical 3. He's saying if that cell equal a certain value and that cell equal a certain value, then you need to embed that into if statement to be able to tell what actions you need to be taken in this case. So I can say and A1 equal or A2 equal 3 and A3 equals 5 and so on, giving you logics as much as it need to combine them for test. So and plus the or are best being used with the if statement or any logical statement that is doing a testing or comparison between two or more values. Now we're having here two columns, column A having these values, column B having these values. Now you have a decision, either you approve or don't approve. So you can say if A2 equals 2 and B2 equals 8, so both of them are true, then type in approve. Otherwise, type in not approved or do not approve. So in this case, you need both conditions to be true in order to show approve. Let's see the equation. So we wrote if and, so A2 greater than 1 and B2 should be less than 9. Then if that's true, if both of these are true, then approve. If not, then type in deny. So in this case, you are caring about having these two testing conditions to be true in order to give it approved or a value of true. Otherwise, you give it value of false. In the or, any of them is true will give you a true value. And only if both of them are false would give you a false value. But in and, any of them is false would give you a false. In order to get true, you need to have them both to be true. Okay, so we have here 2 is greater than 1 and B2 or 8 is less than 9. So the author is trying to investigate any value between the range of 2 to 8 should be true. Any value less or greater than that range should be false or deny. So let's do the same thing. Copy this equation, Control C or copy. Then you highlight where you want to paste your equation and you point at the formula icon. Now you can see we have deny here and we have approve here. Why we have deny here? Because the equation is saying if A3 is greater than 1, no, A3 equal to 1, but it's not greater than 1. And B3 should be less than 9. Less than 9 is true, but A3 greater than 1 is not true. So he gave you a deny. Now in this case, you have A4 should be greater than 1, that's true. And B4 should be less than 9, and that's true. Then he gave you approved.